lubrication. All right, everyone. Welcome back to Black Bulb Podcast. Today we have with us the creators of the Dark Matter cult.
Hello.
And go ahead and say hi. And why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm Few. This is Feldspar. This is Prudence. She's Prudence stillborn. She does not talk. She's very happy to be here. Kind of pissed off, though. She drinks a lot, and she was a little upset that I stopped her. Yeah.
You stopped her what?
From drinking just now.
Oh, so is she alive? Or what's the deal with that?
I mean, we're both aliens. So she's from my planet. She's as alive as I am.
Okay.
How old is Prudence?
722.
22.
Is that older? I mean...
It's like middle age. Yeah.
That doesn't sound... Yeah, that's not...
We don't really identify with age on my planet. Like you guys.
So, explain how the cult started.
The cult was born, when was it? 2016.
Yes, it was.
There was a magical moment that occurred on a trip that Feldspar and I took, actually. Do you want to tell the people about our trip?
Sure. So we went to the San Juan Islands, and we took a trip to Orcas Island, and we sat on the dock drinking some wine.
Wait, sorry, is that in Washington?
Yeah,
Yes.
It's
Okay.
beautiful. It's like right next to Canada.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, kind of at a hippie retreat there. And we discussed religion and how we need to renounce ours. And we had a renouncing our religion ceremony on the dock.
It was beautiful.
What were you renouncing?
Our religions. So we were talking about like our childhoods and growing up, and I was talking about how in many religions, like Christianity, you often will get like baptized, and then you'll have a ceremony when you're like a teenager where you have to get confirmed, which I had to do and against my will. And so she was asking me from like an outsider perspective, like, well, is there like a ceremony when you're an adult to like undo that? And I was like, dude, like, no, there's not. And so we researched it briefly, and we were like, we're going to make one right now because this is the best moment. Like, the moment is now. And we did it, and it was magical. And like the whole rest of the trip, we just had like these flowing ideas, and we're like, let's start a cult, man.
Wait, so you found a way to undo that online, or?
No, we just made it up.
Oh, you made it up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We looked online just to see if anyone had ever like thought of it.
And you couldn't find anything?
No.
We found like a paragraph that somebody had written. It was like a poem, and I was like, no.
So what did you...
This is bullshit. I could do like 8 billion times better. And so we were like, well, what would you say? And so we just like, I don't know, we said some stuff.
Came up with a script and
What was it,
a little
like-
ceremony with some wine.
Well, we actually currently do a renouncing your religion ceremony. We do it at our events. We actually did a very similar one at our Valentine's Day event. Which you can see on our Instagram. There's a picture I just posted a couple days ago from that ceremony. And
We also sell a kit that lets someone have their own ceremony wherever they want to perform their own private ceremony if that's one of their desires.
yeah. So if anyone wants to renounce their religion, we can
Wow.
do a big
Hook you up.
one. We can hook you up with a kit. But yeah, there's a lot of sacred words and sacred objects that are involved. And a lot of it's just like the spirit of the moment and honoring, you know, the greater plan of it.
So what led up to that trip? And like, just, you guys obviously had already felt this discontent toward religion beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, our whole thing, I feel like, is not so much about religion.
Right, not the
where I'm
cult.
from, like, we don't identify with religion either. But yeah, we were just casually discussing it, I think, you know.
What is the big idea of what you guys do then?
We're a lifestyle.
The lifestyle?
Yeah.
But you also remove religion from people. Is there anything else that...
We don't remove. We want everyone to feel comfortable with us, and it's kind of like a safe and happy space. So if you choose that, basically our February show, it was you could renounce something you've been holding on to that you no longer need in your life.
That's like awesome.
And so-
spiritual freedom in a
Didn't
way.
have to be religion.
Right. It didn't have to be
Really.
religion. It could be actually our member that did renounce something. She renounced men, and she actually quoted that, you know, we helped her with that. So
What are common things that people do renounce themselves?
usually like a religion, or what else do you think?
Yeah, just anything that's holding them back, any past experience that they're kind of wanting to expunge from weighing them down in their lives.
Like a bad relationship or a
They start
job.
confessing stuff, and does it get kind of deep?
Sometimes. I mean, we try and keep it fairly lighthearted.
Okay.
But yeah, we're all about embracing others, having a good time, celebrating, the moment.
Celebrating's fun.
Yeah, we're all about celebrating, and that's why we do events constantly.
Yeah, when you guys came up with this, was it more event focused? Was it more like, because I noticed you guys, it's a combination of like participating with the audience or cult members or whoever it is that wants to interact with you guys and also putting on a show.
Yeah.
Like what was the initial idea? Did you think it was going to be more about interacting with people, or did you think it was going to be more about kind of having a performance?
Initially we thought it was going to be more about having kits and opportunities for people to do this on their own. But then we started to realize that it might be more fun for us to perform these things live and show people the rituals that we had come up with, and also just have a good time as well and have some performances and give local artists a platform to express themselves as well and keep arts alive that tend to be waning.
Yeah,
currently.
I think that's really what it became for us, is like we wanted to share our art. And then we had met so many amazing, cool people that had like an alternative style of art. And so we started collecting them, and we kept doing these events, and we were like, this is our cult of people. Like, these are our creators. Let's create like a fun, sacred space that we can go to like every month or two. And yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna follow up with a question, like, what are the other artists that you associate with, and what kind of mediums do they use, and like what's that vibe like?
Well, we call what we do in event-wise an intergalactic cabaret. So we collect people. So cabaret is basically just acts of all sorts that are in like a theater. Sometimes there's dinner. But we have burlesque. We've had magicians. What else?
Belly dancing.
Spoken word.
Spoken word. We've had some artists, construct some visual art that pertains to the theme that we're doing for our event.
Cool.
We have like tarot readers sometimes. We
Magicians.
Connect
We've had a few
with
different
writers.
magicians.
But mostly I would say like burlesque and other circus. I'm really into circus right now. So our next show has a lot of circus performers and contortion. Did you say that?
Oh, I didn't say that.
I love contortionists. So yeah, we're trying to keep it an interesting collective of like weird Portland stuff. We have a snake charmer.
We're hoping to find a mime. So if anyone listening
We really want a mime.
is a mime.
Yeah.
So it is
Let
all
us
mostly
know.
performance based. And where do you kind of see it going? Like 10 years from now, where do you see the cult like influencing the part of the U.S.?
It's a good question.
Yeah, I think we currently like to keep it local.
Yeah, I really love Portland. I love keeping things here.
It seems to fit so well into that Portland's identity, the whole idea, which is one of the reasons I
we
wanted
wanna
you guys
preserve
on
that.
here, because I was just like, this is like a super Portland thing.
We both connected. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Church of Elvis.
Oh,
It was a
yeah.
Portland thing. I don't think it longer exists anymore.
No, but when I moved here about 8 years ago,
Yeah.
it was here in the Pearl.
Yeah, well, it moved around. So it used to be by ground control, and it was just kind of like an experience that you could walk by. I don't know much about it, but it was weird. And it was just like, it used to be you could put quarters in it or something, and it would light up, and it was a Church of Elvis.
That sounds
The
really
thing,
familiar.
the little
Yeah.
front thing. I remember
Yeah.
that, yeah. That's gone?
Yeah, as
gone.
far as I know.
I used to, it was like a window,
Yeah.
and it had just the strangest stuff in it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
Nope, I
we-
remember that. I haven't seen that in a million years.
No,
though.
we love
Yeah.
like, I mean, I feel like having grown up here, Portland, it still is super cool, and there's so many talented people, but a lot of, the way it's going is moving towards like, I always call it Pinterest chic, where people are like recreating the same ideas over and over again.
Right.
That are like, let's have a burlap wedding or something like that. And so
Oh, my God.
we're trying to be like, fuck that, and we're celebrating just things that we like, and we've run into like really interesting people along the way, and we've collected them, and we show them off at our events, and we also do street fairs sometimes too. So
How'd you start meeting people to have in your shows?
I talk a lot.
Okay, oh, really? Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense because we met on a set and we're just like, hey, let's work together.
I know.
Like,
I was
pretty much
telling
immediately.
Feldspar, she was like, how did you know him? And I was like, I think we spent a lot of time on a set. And after a while, you just start asking people questions. And
It was like a full day. It was like a 10-hour day or
I
something.
love doing stuff like that. I don't do it anymore, but it was a really cool outlet to like have interesting conversations. And I'm always trying to embarrass myself and like push myself to the limit to realize like, oh, nothing bad happened. Like, let's, do something even weirder. And it's really gratifying to just like be weird, even on stage. It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun to just like put yourself out there and just be who you are and be weird. And
totally. Yeah. And you're totally in your element when you're doing that. So I think that that makes it better. You guys kind of like, it was interesting because you guys, when I asked if you wanted to be a show or not at first, it makes sense that you guys want to make it a show because you guys are a lot of the fuel behind kind of the because it's a fun thing. Like you guys are kind of the fuel behind the fun of it because the whole like the cleansing, getting rid of stuff you don't want, like you're replacing it with like more positive energy and like I don't know, it's more playful and it seems like you guys fuel that a lot and it probably makes it more fun for everyone involved. The fact that you guys are up there, like actually like
it gives us a chance to adopt identities and construct outfits that we would normally have no opportunity to wear
all the time,
and new concepts, events that we wanted to go to that didn't currently exist, like the end of the world. We kind of simulated the end of the world at the last event, and had everything themed that way, and it ended up being like an experience that I hadn't personally had previously. So we get to live the experiences we want to live and also share it with others.
Yeah. And I like that about it. And I liked how dynamic it was because I get so bored so easily. And
Me
so like
too.
there's like a new thing every 5 minutes. I'm like perfect.
Right. I can't handle more than like 5 minutes of the same thing.
Yeah.
So we really try and like mush as much in there and make it like really bizarre or like interesting to look at.
And we try to make the whole thing a performance, so it's not like there's an act and the MC is killing time. We want the MC to be a performance in itself.
Yeah.
So the entire act is seamless from the beginning.
Good.
Right. Yeah, which you do a good job of.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's one of the best parts of the show, in my opinion. I like seeing you up there. And I also like how much you involve the audience. And so it just...
We love that.
Yeah.
We
No,
always want one element of having the audience participate
Yeah.
in some fashion and be involved so they're truly feeling like they're immersed in the event.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked yelling at people to make crafts last time. It was really fun.
Yeah, no, that was...
To make crafts?
Yeah.
They were there. We had, so it was the end of the world, and there was a point at the end of the show where you could make a foil hat to like protect your consciousness, to send it out into the eternal unknown. And so under everyone's chair, we put some foil and we were like, okay, this is the time, make your hat. And a lot of people did, but there were some people that were sticklers. And I was like, I'm the host of the stage. I got off the stage and I was like, make your hat.
There's some really good
fun.
hats out there.
Yeah.
There's some devil
We have some
horns
pictures,
and some
yeah.
phallic hats. And
Yeah.
I was like, people had some crazy hat making skills. I had this lump on my head. I was just like,
Nice.
how the fuck are you guys doing this? It
I
didn't
love
make any
that
sense.
everyone did it though. Like
Yeah, I
literally
know.
every person. I
But
had
that's
to
what-
call out a couple people, but everybody did it.
Yeah, that's what made it cool,
It was
though.
fun.
Yeah. Can I out you and the sets we were on? Or
Sure.
okay, so we met on. I think we met on.
I was trying to remember too.
No, I can't remember the guy's name. How am I
Jay
blanking?
Maskus.
Jay Maskus.
Okay,
thank
guys,
you.
this is like one of my favorite things that I did in my 20s, and it was super. It's cool to look back on. The actual day was like, I don't know, it was cool.
Yeah.
But I
It
think
was
that's when we
long.
first met, right?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, it was a Jay Maskus. It was like an album that
Music
came out
video.
a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe like 5 years ago.
Almost. I think. it
But
was
we were
4 or
hippies
5.
in a cult.
Yes, in a cult. That's so appropriate
And
for this.
I was like, at that day, I was like, this is so me. Like, no one has any idea, like, how
really?
true to my soul, like me, because I didn't know what it was going to be.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm such a, like, I love the 70s stuff. And I love, like, the whole idea of a cult. And yeah.
Yeah, and Fred Armisen was in it, and I think it was because it was it was tied to Portlandia or something, right?
Yeah. It was on Funny or Die. So
It
I'm
was.
sure it was, like, connected somehow.
Well, that's how. Yeah, I only heard of it through Portlandia connections. Is that how you got?
Yeah,
I
that makes
think it was
sense.
like entirely put together through those connections.
That makes
like,
sense.
Yeah. Like Funny or Die is located in L.A., so they just call up and be like, "Who makes TV shows up there? Can they help?"
Right.
Man, I was going somewhere with that, and I
Whoa.
So
forgot.
yeah, we met on that set,
Oh, yeah.
and then we kept running into each other for like a couple other times because
Yeah.
I did a lot of like background stuff.
Yeah,
and
same.
I don't know. I was just
Yeah.
like, let's chat.
Yeah, and then we did one random Halloween video.
that was
That
fun.
was was super
I
random.
was dating a monster in that. I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
it was good times.
Wait,
Yeah.
is that like one of the videos we used to do back in the
Yeah,
day?
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It was fun.
That was one of the ones that you weren't. That was like the only one
Yeah,
you weren't there
it was
I
like
for.
the
know
only
we
one
could
I
have
was in
met.
it.
It was so long ago.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It
It
was
was.
super fun, and I love Halloween. And
Yeah, it was another weird, creepy thing. It was
I feel like my whole life is like separated by weird events like that. Meet someone, make a Halloween video, and then meet him again doing something weird.
Yeah, and then on to the next thing.
Yeah.
But I've been like, I was like kind of following what you were doing.
Cool.
Because it was interesting. Where did you guys think? Did you guys think this was going to like actually be a thing when you started it, or like catch on at all?
It was more of a challenge for ourselves to begin with. We wanted to know if we could really follow through with the ideas that we had and how difficult it would be, what challenges we would face. And it turns out, to be honest, it's a lot easier than we thought in some
Don't
ways.
give away your secrets. This is so hard.
If you have a dream, you just need to run with it. And
Yeah,
things
it's-
fall into place when you do the work, which Few does most of the work. I will give her credit for it.
I am a workaholic, but I only like to do stuff that I get something out of
you
and
enjoy.
it's really fun for me. Yeah, it was kind of, we're both like goal nerds and we love to like make goals and try and meet them. And then when we get there, we're like, okay, what's the next thing? You know?
Yeah.
And originally it seemed impossible, to be
Yeah.
honest. And then
Well,
once we started following
yeah.
it just happened.
Like
and
our
next thing you know,
first
we were doing it.
goal was like, let's make a kit because we have seance kits. And we were like, we're just gonna like put these out into the universe and people are gonna like freak out. And people didn't freak out and they thought they were cool. And we sold some. We were like, okay, we need a new goal, you know?
People love stuff that's like hidden knowledge type things. Like it's just super fun and
Yeah.
addictive, and everyone always wants information that's hard to get. And anything out there that like, I don't know, seems like a little bit like occult knowledge, and especially if it's going to help you, that's going to appeal to a lot of people.
People like being a part of clubs, and like little,
That's true.
little societies. They enjoy that
That's
stuff.
also that's also true too.
And that's
But-
what we found to be intimidating, actually, was the occult people, take things very seriously
yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
And we wanted to have more of a lighthearted approach and more of a design
Which I
approach
love.
to it.
That's why I like it. Like that's what
Yeah.
makes me. Yeah, that's
I hope,
what care.
Yeah, I hope everyone kind of knows that. I mean, we're serious about what we do. We have fun, but like everything we do is pretty tongue in cheek. I don't know. We're just down to have a good time.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And that's like
Make it more
almost our
approachable.
slogan. Yeah, it's like we want to be really approachable. We want everyone to feel like they can come to an event and they can be a cult member for a night, and they're gonna have fun.
Totally.
What's the toughest part of the whole thing you guys do?
I would actually say the live performance, trying to make that go off without a hitch. There's so many factors involved.
Yeah.
Some of which are, you can't always plan for things that are going to
Yeah.
occur. That's
the
most
truth.
challenging.
We're like huge planners. And like, for example, our last show, I felt like super prepared and I'd planned everything and I'd made a space helmet. And the one thing I didn't think about was like when I talk into a microphone, the fact that I'm wearing this huge like orb on my head
With a bunch of metal in it.
with
and-
metal and
yeah.
lights, and it was all lit up, and
Yeah.
the
Wires.
feedback from the mic I was using, it was just like
Oh,
making this
no.
crazy sound. So it was fine. Like we dealt with it, and we had mic problems the whole day. But I mean, we prepared for everything else. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that would be, because I love the work that goes into like finding performers and doing the promos and dressing up and taking pictures, but yeah, it's mostly like just accounting for like, oh God, somebody broke a leg, or like, what do you do if like half your show doesn't, the performers don't show up or something.
Yeah, that's the tough thing about being a good tech guy, is assuming everything's going to go wrong
Yeah.
and having a bunch of backup, which I've learned the hard way. But it's another skill to develop, to know how to deal with things coming up that you're not expecting and handle them gracefully. And I thought you did a pretty good job of that, which was another thing that turned me on to the whole thing. Because yeah,
Aw.
you kind of need that like
Oh,
saves
yeah.
the show. Instead of just letting it like mess with you, like when the band like messes up the song and they start
Oh,
the song
yeah.
over.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like
I had actually like the most fun doing that show of any of the other shows, because at the beginning it was just like, fuck it, it's already, messed up. Like it can't get worse. Everything else is planned. So I like had the most fun.
yeah, that's true.
How do you go about promoting it?
All sorts of weird, mysterious ways, which we will not give away our secrets. But we do a lot of media. I mean, I think the internet is huge, and everyone always wants to know, like, oh, how are you? Are you like putting up posters everywhere? And
That's more expensive.
the jury's kind of out on like whether a poster works. I don't know. What do you think?
We haven't been able to really identify whether or not the posters we put up are really selling it. But I know I personally have gone to many shows just due to seeing a poster.
Yeah.
So initially we thought we need posters, and we got some really expensive ones made, and we're hanging them up everywhere. But we don't think that they're really bringing in the people that we thought they would originally. A lot of it's just our friends, and everyone likes to support the the talent that we have on stage too.
We've had a lot of people, though, that aren't our friends and are not connected to our friends, and they've heard about us mostly through like Facebook or Instagram. I try really hard to like promote on Instagram, just like being into other artists. And yeah, it's been really cool. Like people have reached out and be like, I want to be in your show. And so we've met some cool people that way.
Yeah, and we always want to make sure we have a good audience. So there are many times where we've had shows when we've had to turn a lot of people away, and we're not exactly sure how they're finding out about us.
I know. Tell us how you know us.
Yeah,
I think the fact that you bring on so many artists, that could be your promotion in and of itself, because that's what we always tell people, like you got to collaborate, and that's like that doubles your exposure right there.
Yeah.
So if you have 10 artists, that's a lot of people you're sharing with.
10 times cross promotion. At that
Right.
point.
And that's what it's all about, right? It's just like sharing weird art with other amazing weird artists. So
But wait, so why have you had to turn people away?
because the venue's not big enough.
Oh,
we're
okay.
at capacity.
But so you like get lists or
Ticket
what?
sales,
Like how
and
do you?
then-
Oh, just
Well,
tickets.
so we sell tickets in advance. People can buy it. Right now it's on brown paper tickets. We have it on our website and Facebook and all that. But yeah, so if you buy in advance, you get a cheaper ticket. But most people, we found, wait till like 3 days before and try and buy the ticket. And so usually like the day of, it'll sell out. And
Are you like purposely trying to keep it small? Is that something that you're like trying to figure out? Like, do we keep it small? Do we let it grow?
kind of.
That's got to be tough.
Yeah, we've toyed around with the idea
Yeah.
of expanding, but we really like where we're at the same time and just want to
Right.
enjoy it.
Oh
for
yeah,
the time
Crush
being.
Bar is the best. They're the best bar in Portland. We love them.
Yeah. The
They're
bigger
so good to us.
Yeah, the bigger it gets, the more work you have to put into it, and then you have to find another venue, and then you have to deal with if they don't accommodate as well and all that stuff. Crush Bar is kind of perfect for what you do.
Crush Bar is amazing,
Yeah.
and it definitely supports like our idea of welcoming everyone and trying just to have like a really fun open space. And we could do double shows, so we're gonna have a huge blowout Halloween show.
Nice.
I think it's October 9th. It's like a Friday or Saturday. So we might do a double show.
So I imagine it's like easy to turn away artists when they are the burlap sack from Pinterest. But when you discovered that you guys are continuously having ideas that are getting a little burlappy, how do you refine that imaginative side of you? And like, what do you do for inspiration?
Oh my God, I call up Feldspar because she's like the queen of like coming up with like an idea that no one's ever come up before. Like she has like I don't know. She has like this pit of like amazing, unique ideas.
She's the dreamer and you're the doer.
I mean, together, it's like we both collab off each other, but she definitely will come up with something weird and then I'll be like vibing off of that.
Yes, we'll definitely feel like we're hitting a wall. And then as soon as we get together, there is some magic. And
It's just the magic of our
ideas always
friendship.
work out.
Yeah. Like we always, every show, we're doing this every 2 months, and every show we want to be new and fresh and different. And so we're not like recycling stuff. And we'll sit down and we'll have a drink and be like, what are we doing? And usually we go away that first meeting like, I have no idea. And then after like a couple Fridays, we got to figure it out.
Is that like the most fun part of the whole thing?
Yes.
100%.
I live for that part.
Especially when we're like coming up with like this crazy idea. Like for our February show, we had, it was like anti-love themed. I don't even remember now. It's so far ago.
Anti-Valentine's Day.
Anti-Valentine's Day. And so we did like a video, and there was like an alternate reality version of my character talking to me and basically just like coming up with the idea. We were like cracking each other up. Basically, if we can find something that's super weird and we think everyone will hate it, that's when we're like, yes,
I love
we've
it.
got it.
The South Park theory of entertainment, pretty much.
As long as we have fun, I think that's like a success.
Right. Totally.
It reminds me of that old like writing room technique where they would make them wait in the room for like 5 hours until it's like 7 in the morning or something, until they have no willpower to not say an idea. So even if it's a terrible idea, like, what if he has bananas in his eyes? I don't care. I just want to get out of here by now. And then next thing you know, the episode has bananas with eyes. And that's just like a technique.
Yeah, it works.
Where did you hear
what's
that
your
also?
method? Do you have a method, Feldspar?
I don't really have a method.
This is like
to
her
be
brain's
honest.
amazing.
We just start discussing what if, we had this idea and then it just kind of transforms itself to another idea, like the end of the world.
Yeah, just like kind of the magic of Feldspar and Few together.
Like
You
movies
can't
that we've seen
recreate
where we
it.
kind of want to, in a way,
like we want to go into that movie somehow
and experience
so we
it
make
in
an
a way.
event of it.
Yes.
Like we don't want our events to be like, what's a regular event?
You're
Like,
watching some burlesque performers, you're listening to an MC between.
Yeah, I mean,
We draw
Yeah,
from that,
totally.
but we want to
Right.
elevate it.
Right.
Totally, which you guys do, because I was like sort of expecting that,
It's
kind of
hard
hoping
to
that wasn't what
describe
it
what we
is.
do.
Yeah, no,
It is.
no, it's
You
good.
really have to experience it.
Yeah.
And I want it to be something where if I saw a poster describing the event in detail, I would say, I have to go to this thing. This sounds amazing. Kind of like something that's magical and kind of like an Alice in Wonderland almost, where it's
But
something that's
not
hidden,
that,
but not
because
that
it's
directly.
Always Alice in Wonderland. Our first
Right.
show, we were like, what should we call it? And she was like, I wanted it to be something like tassels and talking to the dead, but like not that. And I was like, we're calling it tassels and talking to the dead.
That's
because
right. I
if
was
you
like, that
saw
sounds
that on
familiar.
a poster, you'd be like, what the crap?
Yeah.
I need to go to this.
Yeah. And we sold out our very first show. So
Wow.
I'm proud of us.
That's awesome. That's got to be a good feeling.
We were like, what did we create? And everyone was like, when's your next show? We're like,
Yeah,
we
everybody
just
said you need to
tried
have these every month,
Yeah,
and
we
I'm
just
going
tried
to go
to
to
get
all of
through.
them.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
When is your
it's
next show?
June 22nd,
at
Friday.
Crush Bar. It's a
Oh,
Friday
that's-
night.
Yeah,
It starts
couple
at
weeks.
8-ish.
Yeah, soon. It'll probably be about a week after this episode comes out.
Yeah, I always say at every show, like the next show, I always say, this is my favorite show. But I think this is like for real my favorite show.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one, I have to say.
Yeah, the concepts that we came up. So we are starting the show with an act that Feldspar and I are doing together. And I think that might be a theme that we do. We did it for our last show. It went really well.
It was the original idea with our first event to have kind of a duo that we start out the night,
I
and it never
forgot.
happened the first
Yeah.
event. So
Right, we kind of felt like we were pushed back to like the other people that we had on our show, and we wanted to reel it back in. Like, no, this is our thing. Like, we created it. Obviously, we want to showcase our friends. But yeah, it's our thing. So we're like, we're giving
We're gonna do
ourselves
what
a
we want.
spot. We got this.
Wait, you guys are doing that this time?
Yeah.
You guys, I think I agree with that idea for sure. I totally think
You
you should.
agree with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
We didn't want to be like, we're just like a promoting company for other people, because that's not fun for us. Like, we're just in this for fun. We're not trying to like make a million. So we're trying to make every show like, how can we have the most fun? We want everyone else to have fun. But honestly, like, if someone goes away from our show and they're like, what the crap was that? We won.
Good for you.
we would rather have that than that was boring. We
Oh,
want it to
yeah.
be, what the hell was
100%.
that?
No, for sure. It was not boring. But I definitely like to see more of you guys on stage too. So
Cool.
I'm
thanks.
glad.
Yeah, it's going to be weird. You guys got to come to the next one.
All right.
We're all invited.
I
All right,
definitely want to
sweet.
come to the next one.
Yeah, yeah, you
There
should.
will be
Yeah.
a pool. What else should we say?
I don't want to reveal too much.
I know.
So hard to say.
A neon pool.
Be a pool. Do not dip the mic in there. I'm just
We learned our lesson.
Damn it.
We know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ben tried to explain to me the premise of the show, and that's why I was like, you got to introduce them, because I don't think I could do a proper introduction
I
for what
can't
this
ever
is.
explain to anyone like what I
Right.
do. And even if I tell them in a very basic, like, I have a cabaret, everyone's like, what's a cabaret? And then I got to start at square one, and I
Yeah.
don't want to deal with that.
And then you have to tell them
know?
what a cabaret is, and then say, "But that's not what I'm
Right.
doing."
Yes.
It's like the opposite of that. I just needed a word, and I felt like cabaret was the only thing that kind of described
It's the
it.
closest thing. I think that's yeah.
Did
from
we
what
say
I
the
know.
title of our next event?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, you
I
can
don't know
do
if we
it.
did. It is a nuclear summer.
It's a nuclear
Whoa.
summer, so it has like 1950s vibes. But we definitely want the spirit of the summer because it's June 22nd, so it's like right at the beginning. Do you
And-
want to talk about like the best part of the show?
And a little bit post-apocalyptic, if I can say that word.
Hey,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So it's like it's 1950s-ish, kind of like how they would have the nuclear warnings. You know, like in the 1950s,
Yeah.
they'd have like, oh, you know, if you hear the siren, like drop and cover. So it starts out with like kind of that sort of theme, and then it goes into like a post-apocalyptic, like is a Mad Max? Is that the right thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, but it definitely, there's a story we're telling along the way, and it involves a lot of trash fashion and like kind of a Zoolander nod of Derelict, which,
All right.
you
Okay.
know, just a little nod of that. And we are doing a huge trash fashion walk off at the end. And I have some really cool sponsors, really cool Portland places. What was that really cool place we went to with the dolphins? No idea what that was
The
called.
Dolphins. Where was it?
Last on Alberta, we bought those cool glasses.
Oh, yeah.
They're sponsoring us.
They changed their name recently.
I don't know.
Something Sister.
Anyways, we have lots of cool sponsors that are giving us gifts, and we're giving them out for our
Psychic Sister. There we go.
Psychic Sister. It's a beautiful shop on Alberta. We're giving stuff
Sorry,
out
we
for
forgot your
gifts
name.
for our fashion walk off. So we're hoping, and I have a lot of people that are going to come dressed in trash fashion. And so at the end of the show, in like a crafty element, we're going to have people come up on the stage, and me and another person are going to host a fashion walk off. And if we like your outfit, you win prizes.
Nice.
Nice.
So we're combining like all sorts of things into one crazy show.
Wow. Sounds like a good show.
Yeah.
It's gonna be super fun.
Gonna be intense. I almost like not knowing what's gonna happen more than knowing
Yeah,
what's gonna
and there's a
happen.
lot of things I don't want to tell you, and things
Good.
I'm
Don't
super
tell
excited
us.
about.
Yeah,
but I
leave
want
it.
people to know that it's gonna be weird. So you
Yeah.
should come and check
And
it
that
out.
they should wear their best trash fashion.
Yeah.
For the walk off if they want. We're not going to be providing trash.
We might provide trash.
Oh, we might provide trash.
I'm thinking about providing trash.
Okay.
I kind of really enjoy at the last show. I really enjoyed like yelling at people to make crafts. So I kind of want to like have. What if only 3 people want to do it? I
That's
want to
true.
have like a bucket of like newspaper and like
Be a
bubble
swimming
wrap.
pool of trash.
Yeah, and be like, no, you make an outfit. And I will probably do that.
Calling
like
people
it.
at random to come up.
Yeah, I like to call people out and embarrass them and make them go on stage. So
Good for
pretty
you.
tight. This is gonna it's gonna develop into people actually doing like super fucked up cult shit on stage. They're like torture me, please.
yeah,
On stage.
I don't
Yeah,
think
we
we
won't
know
pick
what to
them.
do.
We'll say,
What are you
We
going to
don't
do when that
want
happens?
We
It's
want
going to
someone who
happen.
doesn't
It's
want
gonna
We'll
happen.
like get someone to escort them out. I don't know. Yeah, we've definitely had people like that on the internet, but
But don't be afraid. We
yeah,
usually
on
get
the
plenty of
internet, I'm sure.
volunteers where
Yeah.
we can select someone who is willing.
oh,
So.
there's always. I was so afraid that no one was going to volunteer for the renouncing, and I had like so many people. I wanted everyone to come on stage with me, but there was only one.
No, that's good. That's gotta feel good.
Damn.
How did you guys meet?
We met a long time ago in the future. From a different planet. Feldspar came in through a portal.
Yeah, I'm from present day, and I traveled into the future and met Few.
Yeah.
Story.
And you came
About
back.
7 years ago.
Through my planet, and we hit it off. She could deal with Prudence and her ways.
Prudence gets a little angry if you haven't been to one of our shows.
Prudence
is
is
the,
always angry.
Prudence has been there the whole time. Why is she hiding?
Prudence
still?
has been here since day one, man.
I feel like Prudence needs to needs to
I
sit
did change
out.
her outfit for summer, though. She usually has like a really nice dress on, but she has this cute, like little, I don't know.
hot air balloon diaper.
What's with the goggles?
It's for summer. She's going to be in the swimming pool. Usually she doesn't have goggles. I like to put different things in her head. She's lacking at the moment, but there will be trash in her head. Yeah. Prudence is angry. Feldspar dealt with it. And then we like hit it off, and here we are.
That's
Damn.
cool. That's cool.
Damn. It's a weird story, guys.
You got a lot of them, which I like.
Thank you.
I'm sure that how are you not the one coming up with all the fancy ideas?
I mean, we
Is it-
both do, but
Okay.
it's like the magic of us together, you know?
Yes, and a lot of times my ideas go too far. And
I'll reel it
Few
back
helps
in
reel
and
them
be
in.
like,
Your
Like,
ideas.
no, yes,
She
no,
pu-
yes.
Well, what I love
Wait.
though, it's like she sets the limit or she pushes the limit,
Yes.
and I will be like, dude, No.
Wait, can I hear one of those?
Yeah, I feel like
yes.
I feel like you're the one that would be pushing the limit.
I mean,
I gotta see it.
We're
Let's see it.
professional humans in the real world. We don't just have a cult. Unfortunately, I wish this was our full-time gig.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you?
What?
Like, I mean, like the sound of a full-time cult member. That sounds.
If that could
Or
be a
leader,
job,
leader.
I would.
I mean,
like
I
it,
guess I
but-
could do it, but I don't want to like step away from like the, originality of what we have.
Then it won't be fun anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to make it not fun.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
like my outlet as an artist, and I get to make my outfits. I get to plan a show. I get to make a show I want to see. I get to be in the show.
Yeah, let's hear Feldbar's crazy ideas.
Oh gosh.
What's
well,
one that you had to turn down?
I don't know if I want to say one of them right
should.
now.
If you could think of one.
Yeah, it's all right.
We were going to make a Jell-O mold cake with some things that were in the cake that were like inappropriate toys that you would use in an adult setting. And we were gonna like pull these stringed beads out of the cake.
And like what, a bop it would come out or something?
Well, the actual toys would come out, and then we'd have to like do something with them. And I was like, no.
Our next act is going to be 50s themed. It'll be the first one. I will say that much.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was going to be a Jell-O mold that we could put things in. I'm not afraid to throw out the ideas and get them turned down. It's better than
No, I
Absolutely.
no ideas.
I
I just
love, yeah.
diarrhea
Totally.
of the mouth
It's
over here
just-
sometimes.
I gotta turn off some ideas sometimes.
That's
unfortunately,
okay.
as much as I don't want to, like, there's a lot of people coming to our shows. My mom is gonna listen to this. Hi, mom.
My mom's not.
My mom listens to everything. She's the best.
My parents don't listen to anything I do, so
I'm so sad for you.
So I think like we can kind of relate to that. When Ben and I used to make a lot of those YouTube videos
Definitely.
back in the day, I think you were the one that had some of the wilder ideas, and I'd have to be like, dude, no, that's too much. People
Alex
aren't
is a
gonna get it.
Alex is a pansy about
No,
cool
I
ideas.
love
He's
that.
afraid.
Like where someone can be like, "This is the craziest thing." I feel like we've
I have
noticed
great
over
ideas.
like the years though that what we think is crazy, and then we do it, and we're like, nobody reacted.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wasn't
Like our last
Yeah.
performance where
Yeah.
we were both on stage at the beginning.
Oh,
we had
that-
some things that we were feeling maybe a little iffy about,
Yeah.
but
And it
all
was
went
like
off
the
totally
pitch.
like almost PG
Nice.
related.
Yeah.
And so we're going to try and push some limits and kind of like see where the boundaries are. But we definitely want to keep it like, my parents are always going to be like, you did it, Few. And so
Are they-
I want to keep it like where they can still appreciate it. They come to all my shows. So.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
that makes more sense. I like when you guys push it. You guys are fun.
Yeah,
And
no, my
that's-
parents are
yeah.
super cool. My
That's
mom
good.
died in my Christmas cult show. She joined the cult.
Okay,
She renounced Christmas. She died on stage. Like, they're super cool people. But that's kind of my boundary is like, I want it to be like if somebody heard about, me in the show, like they wouldn't
you
be
renounce Christmas?
horrified. Come to the Christmas show that we're having in December something or
Oh,
other
shit.
at Crush Bar, and you will see.
All right. Wow. I may not be able to morally get along with that, but everything
we didn't
else.
like renounce it as like, I mean, it was kind of, we did renounce Christmas. There was a black Christmas tree.
yeah,
We all
it this-
died.
there was a Christmas tree lighting
Death Metal
ceremony at the
Christmas.
end because we want to incorporate that, but it ended up
Yeah.
being the most bizarre Christmas tree lighting ceremony with like drinking the Kool-Aid at the
I
end.
want to do it
and-
again so bad.
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Yeah.
People didn't survive that Christmas, sadly.
My mom died at that show.
What if you just had like a show where it was all business jargon that is real life?
Like what?
Like drinking the Kool-Aid. It's like business jargon, you know?
No, like we actually drank Kool-Aid. It was fun.
We'll circle back around. You do a
Yeah.
circle back
Yeah.
around. Oh God, I hate business jargon.
That would be like the most.
We'll touch base on
no.
that on Tuesday.
We'll touch base.
Yeah, it's like-
You get Alex brings up how much he hates business jargon almost every project we work on. He's like, why don't we make fun of business guys
I
using
see.
business jargon?
I hate business.
You should tell us all the
hates it.
business jargon you know, and then we'll like incorporate it
That would be
into an
funny.
event.
Yeah, I will do
Because,
that.
yeah, I
At
would
least
love
you'll be
that.
able to like look at it and be like, oh God, yeah, I hate all this. Because like you have meetings and it's all they talk about and it's all just generic words that don't actually mean anything. But
Yeah.
people nod like, okay, I guess that makes sense. Isn't that right, Jim? And like, yeah, it doesn't make sense
Everyone
at all.
just agrees, and then it gets published.
Sure, yeah.
How do you guys stay inspired? Like keep your head in the game and like keep coming up with ideas and being motivated to actually make them come to life.
Oh, well, we both love just viewing other people's art as well, so that sometimes we incorporate just like a small theme of that into our own and then put our own spin on it.
Yeah.
Take it a totally new direction, or just movies that we've seen before. We both resonate with a lot of the same films from our childhood that we like to kind of throw just basic elements of that.
Right. And not like limiting ourselves to like occult stuff. Like we're an intergalactic cabaret. So we want to keep it like we're always going to be similar characters to what we are, but we're not going to always keep it like centered around like, you know, goth things or the occult, like for certain holidays.
Too.
Yeah, we love that. And that's totally part of us, but we want to expand for other shows to celebrate other weirdness about us. And that keeps it interesting.
You goth stuff too?
Like for Halloween shows, definitely like goth, occult.
We have a seance kit, so that kind of tends to go along those lines.
Yeah.
But we're not witches or seance specialists.
And we
just do it for fun.
we say that on our website. We do it for fun.
That's good. Good to clarify.
Yeah, like if a spirit, what did we say in the pamphlet? Like if a spirit haunts you for all your days, it's not our fault.
You can't blame us.
But we hope they're sexy.
I actually I don't like to mess around with occult stuff too much. I mean, I love occult stuff like from a interest standpoint. I think it's insanely interesting. I read astrology more than Alex would like me to.
Nice.
Oh God, really?
I like that you refer to him as like, I don't know, your wife or something. Alex is always like telling me not to.
He's my business wife. Anytime I'm like, let's do this, he's like, I don't know, man.
I love it.
I don't know about that every time. And I have to get Luke, his business partner, or Nick or someone to back me up. I'd be like, come on. And they'd be like, yeah, I think you should do it.
Nice.
And I'll be like, all right, fine.
Nice.
Fine. But it's a front. Alex is a crazy motherfucker, but
all friends.
yeah. What were we talking about?
Oh, you were saying you don't like to dabble in
yeah.
You need a seance kid.
Yeah, you haven't been shown the way yet.
I'm not saying I don't like to dabble. I'm saying I don't like to I believe that people can fuck around and bad things can happen.
Ooh.
But a lot of the I feel like the people who do occult stuff like are witches and stuff, there's they're dealing with so much of the dark and negative part of it that's why the bad things happen. And you guys keep everything light and fun.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to go
happy
down
spirits.
that road of dark things.
What happens when someone calls you out as being a witch? How do you approach that? Has that happened?
Honestly, we thought with the renouncing your religion kits and the seance kits that there would be a lot of backlash, and that's kind of why we, I don't know, hesitated, I think, a little bit to promote ourselves. But we really, I got, on Facebook when you can do the angry face, that's all I've gotten is someone did the angry face to our renouncing your religion kit.
Wow.
And I was like,
You
That's
got it
kinda tight.
easy. You got it really easy.
No, but
so
now,
easy.
send me your hate mail, darkmatterkits@gmail.com. I'll read it. But yeah, we haven't
It hasn't
really
been quite as controversial as we thought.
I know,
Really,
we thought it would be.
I think that most of the things we're doing are pushing the limits really far, but it turns out that people are more accepting, and I think there's part of everyone that kind of wants this too.
in Portland, though.
I was gonna say, do you
that's
guys
true.
really?
We're definitely going to keep it on West Coast.
Actually, though, a lot of our sales of our kits, most of them are not in Portland.
Texas.
Yeah.
I don't think
A lot
we've
to the
had
Midwest.
any
I think
West
there are these
Coast.
kids that really want to get involved.
Yeah,
and-
we've sold a lot of seance kits, and it's all...
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's all...
Whoa.
Check out our website, darkmattercult.com. We have seance kits. Yeah,
You have to go to the Midwest now.
apparently.
You guys
no,
are the
Southwest.
I don't want to go back.
Oh, South.
I don't want to go there.
Are you from there?
I'm from Indiana.
Oh, okay.
And I actually haven't been back since I moved here about 8 years ago.
Damn.
Mom's not listening.
I'll just keep mailing these out and stay here.
Right.
So you guys do reach beyond Portland.
Yeah, with our online sales, we're trying to find our focus, I think.
Totally. You guys are kind of a little spread out.
It's a lifestyle.
Which works for some, right? Yeah, no, but that's fun.
We do clothes, we do kits, but I think the main focus is just keeping it in Portland, keeping these fun events, getting to know other artists. If you feel like you fit our vibe, contact us. I would love to have coffee with you for 3 hours. I do it all the time with random people. It's always fun.
That's true. That's what we did the first time we met up.
Nice.
Bunch of coffee.
Yeah, we don't want to stop doing anything that we were doing before because we do love it so much.
Right.
We love making our kits and we love that aspect of things. So
Right.
regardless of if that's our focus or not, we don't want to
Yeah, we
give
don't
that
care.
up. Yeah.
It's all about what we like. So
Right. You got to figure out how to do what you want to do anyways and get paid for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly just have fun while we're doing it.
Good.
That's all. If it stops being fun and we hate it, we'll be done. Right? I hope.
Yeah, for sure.
Please tell me what we done.
Yeah, we already work, full-time jobs, and this is something that we do sheerly for it's our enjoyment and just
like
enriching our lives and sharing it with other people and giving other people
Keeping,
sometimes an opportunity to perform.
Yeah, keeping things weird.
Yeah, this is a really nerdy question that not a ton of people are going to care about, but I'm curious, like, how many hours out of the week does it take you to make sure it goes well? Since you say it, you work full time, because like I'm pretty busy. Alex is pretty busy. We have similar schedules. It sounds like to you, and it can get really overwhelming sometimes. It can just be like, holy shit, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Do I really want to be? For us at least. I'm not like trying to like put words in your mouth. I'm just wondering, like, is this one of those things? Like, is that where your passion level's out? Are you?
You know, a lot of it is just thought, and it's kind of freeing from, I guess, the grind, the 9 to 5 every day.
This is your party. This is your plan.
Yeah, so we can't really just shut off the thoughts. Really, that's how I'm doing what I'm thinking of as a release from all of that. And so that's a lot of the work. It's just the concepts.
I'm definitely spending, I would say, a couple hours a day, like with contacting people that are connected to the show, or like with questions, or like thinking about like concepts. But for me, like most of that is fun. Like I would just do it for free.
So most of the work is basically communicating with people.
Either communicating with others or just like sitting there and like
with each
vibing.
Other.
Yeah, communicating with each other and with other people that are in the shows, and just but sometimes I'm crafting. I don't know. It totally depends. Like,
so you just talk and craft.
We're doing photo shoots. Yeah, we're like talking, crafting, having a glass of wine, and like just trying to think of like what would be the weirdest thing we could do right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's good. So it's not overwhelming you. You're not waking up every day wondering, how am I not gonna freak out on someone?
No, sometimes the pressure's on that last week right before the event. We try to keep that free just to kind of solidify some of the concepts and the details. But the more that we do this, the more we have, I guess, somewhat of a formula where it becomes less stressful. The first show that we ever did, we didn't prepare very much for, to be honest. We didn't know, and a lot of it we did save for the last couple days, but now we do all of that way in advance.
Right. Yeah.
So when it comes to be that time, we can help with the little details if anything's going wrong and focus on those things rather than the overall concept.
So where can people find more information about you?
We have a website, darkmattercult.com. We're on Instagram, Dark Matter Cult. Facebook, same thing. I think that's it.
And remind people when your next show is.
June 22nd at Crush Bar.
It's a nuclear summer. It's at 8 p.m. You want to buy tickets now through our Facebook or our website because it's going to sell out.
Brown paper tickets, right?
Yeah, brown paper tickets. Just search nuclear summer. There'll be posters everywhere around Hawthorne. I'm going to put them up.
Sweet.
Well, it's fun having you two on.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you ever want to do like a seance night.
If you have anything to renounce.
Oh my gosh, we should totally do that.
I would do like a professional, well, not professional.
One that we could televise or whatever.
Or that we could film. It'd be,
I would run it as
preferably.
Oh my God.
Because I've been wanting to do that for Halloween where we have like a seance night.
We would love to do something like that and film it and turn it into a podcast or whatever. That sounds cool with you guys.
Keep an eye out for our seance. It's going to be happening.
Yeah.
It'll be out in a couple months.
Yeah,
cool.
Like we have a huge October show, so it'd fit right in.
Okay, sweet. All right, well, we will keep in touch, and we'd love to have you guys back in the future when there's been more developments and all that.
See how the cult, check in with the cult.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
The cult check-in. That's good. I like this.
Yeah, that's
great.
Awesome. All right, well, thanks so much, guys. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, Internet.